So I'm just going to record. So welcome, lovely ladies, and it's nice to see some new faces. Well, new names anyway, because I can't see your faces because you're not on camera, and that's absolutely fine. But some older faces, which are looking very different at this present moment in time. Diane, don't you look different?
You,
Do you
you get
feel
used to it
different?
yourself because you see it day by day, but you're right. I haven't seen you online probably for a couple of months.
Oh, at
Yeah.
least, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
But your face is looking totally and utterly different.
Yeah, it is. I have lost a lot of plumpness in the
Yeah,
face. And thank God without it becoming a complete disaster of wrinkles, which was my anxiety.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you've been sticking to it and been able to continue with the process?
Yeah, slowly. I mean, I found it a lot harder to make big progress compared to earlier. Um, but I'm down to 26K off.
That's
But
brilliant.
yeah, which is good, And you know, whole sets of clothes have gone into storage and new lots have come out from the old day, from the slimmer days.
Yeah.
Um, but I do find, yeah, it's been a little bit of a ziggy zaggy, down a bit, up a wee bit, down a bit, up a wee bit, down a bit. But the trend is keeping down.
As
Yeah.
long as it's going in the right general direction. Now, one thing I would definitely suggest so that
Mhm.
you have faith in the fact that you're going to keep the weight off
Yeah.
is you give away those big clothes. Don't hold on to them because otherwise you're in your subconscious you're holding on to it in a way. So
Yeah.
I would highly recommend either
Patsy and
getting them
Ray.
altered, get them altered
Yes,
so
there's
they
some
fit you.
favourites. Yeah, there's some favourites I definitely want to get altered.
Yeah.
Um, there's other Achilles. But I mean, I was having this conversation with Patsy and Ray, and I suppose because I'm seeing the value in having kept all the smaller size clothes, so maybe I had faith that one day I would lose the weight again. There's another. I was going to say I'm of Scottish stock, but that's a stereotype probably. But there's still the possibility that when I'm 80 and my mobility is quite impeded, that I would put on weight again and I will have a lot less money then. And
I
so
mean,
part of me,
that's honestly, that is manifestation, isn't it, Diane? Why would
yeah,
you be less mobile at 80 than you are now?
because of the back issues and knees and all of those
But
things. Yeah, I
you
mean,
can,
aging happens.
you can heal. You know your body can heal no matter what age you are at. So
Mm,
just trust the fact that your body will heal it. It's a really important component of this. And if that's the case, then you probably won't like those same clothes anyway, you
yeah.
know. So I think I've shared this story with some of you, but forgive me, but I when I let go of the 25 kilos and I had these clothes which I was, never thought I'd get back into and got back into them because they were old favorites and I didn't like them anymore because I changed.
Yeah.
And I think, we change our taste in clothes, we change our taste in colors. We look differently when we got grey hair than we did when we had, in my case, blonde hair, in your case, brown, or
Mm,
I don't, let's say brunette, because
yes.
so we we have different colors that we tend to wear, and so I think
Yeah.
enjoying the fact that the clothing you have at this present moment in time that you're getting into, which you didn't think you maybe get into again, but don't think it's going to go the other way.
Mm,
I would
yeah.
encourage you to, just get out of that. Oh, well, when I get old, I've had clients who told me when they were in their 40s that they expected to have aches and pains. And no one should expect to have aches and pains, no matter what age you're at,
Mm,
because our human body can heal itself. So it's a really important component. Anyway, Thank you very much for sharing that, Diane. Any really good results that you really want to share? I know you've lost quite a lot, substantial amount really, over the last few months. So anything you want to share with everyone here?
There's nothing that immediately comes to mind. No, I mean, when it's been working, I've been following the stuff that, on the one hand, you, and on the other hand, Patsy and Ray have been recommending. And when I do, it works. Stick with it, I think, would be the,
Yeah, that's it. And you know, we our bodies don't necessarily just, it's like success, isn't it? Success doesn't go in the sort of like linear, you know, the up. It will always go up, down, up, down, up, down. And that is what happens when we're healing our body. And so if you think about, because I was talking to a client and she was saying that her weight had stagnated. And as I said, you know, it could easily be that your body is busily repairing something. So when your body is busily repairing something, there'll be an inflammatory process going on, because when we're healing, the body will naturally bring the cytokines, which are the inflammatory cytokines, to the site where we're healing, and so that it has a little bit more space to heal everything. And so when it's healed, then the anti-inflammatory cytokines come in, bring the inflammation down again, and then we let go of what can be quite a big amount of weight all in one go. So, you know, I think when we're doing something so significant as really healing our body, not just letting go of weight, because I know that the weight actually is a side effect of this process, but when we're letting go of weight, and when we're letting go of ailments, it can take a little bit of time. And so the body takes as much time as it needs. And I think that's sticking with it, Diane, is absolutely a key to it. And we're just going on the scales to just see how everything's going and how it affects us. And I think the phrase, "oh, that's interesting," has to be one that's really quite in your head a lot of the time.
Right.
Thank you for joining us anyway, Diane. It's nice to see you again. Okay.
Yeah, it's such a shame that my choir and this are on the same night.
Yeah. Is it holidays now?
Yes, it's 2 weeks holiday. So
oh, well, that's nice. We'll see you for 2 weeks, hopefully.
yeah.
Awesome. Okie dokie. Right. I'm just going to pick the next person next to me, and that's Pam. Hello, Pam. If you'd like to unmute and share anything that's going through your head at this present moment in time. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Yeah, it's cooler weather, and so
Oh.
I'm, sort of rubbing up and enjoying. I've got my spa going so that I'm climbing in the spa at night time when I get home from work before doing dinner, and
Oh, nice.
enjoying that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's my win for this week, is the lovely spa in this cold weather that we've had. We've had a few cold snaps in this last week, which you'll probably know too. Oh, you're too closer to the sea, aren't you? So you wouldn't get the frosts we're getting.
Well, a client was telling me that he's up here to -8 yesterday morning up north.
Yeah, we've had it cold. I'm in Whangarei, but we've had it really cold where I've had to scrape ice off the windscreen in the mornings.
Yeah, it's really unusual, eh?
But
yeah,
it
well,
is. Yeah, real cold snap. But with the rain, it's sort of not as cold as it has been. It's when there's no rain. But I've actually had problems with my neck and shoulders, which is an old injury that have come back to haunt me, and I've noticed that the weight's gone on with that. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
Because of the inflammation, I guess. So I've seen the osteo, and I'm going back again this Friday. And when I say the weight's gone, I've put on a little bit of weight. I've gained a kilo or two, and that I think is directly related to that. So I'm just ignoring the fact that it's gone up, dealing with my next, and then I'll just watch for what happens after that.
So, have you been applying the magnesium to your neck?
I have got magnesium, yep, and you know, and warming it and cooling it and doing all sorts of things. And of course stretches and stuff, doing the exercises is quite important
And when you're sitting in the
without
spa,
making,
when you're sitting in the spa,
yes.
I recommend that you massage your big toe,
Okay,
just on the outer edge of your
okay.
big toe. So imagine that's your big toe. You do the outer edge and down,
Yep.
because and if you do sort of under the toes, that's especially towards the little toe. So if you go sort of all the way through,
Yep.
and the little toes, your shoulders. So if you just massage that,
Oh, is that reflexology?
yeah, and that can really help
Oh,
relieve everything and get the circulation in there
yes.
again, you know.
Yeah. I haven't had it like this for a long time, and so yeah, that's interesting that I've sort of got my shoulders up again and the shortening of the muscles and you know and the referral pain. So I'm just working on it, and I think that I've got to look further than just what's happening there as to what I've been doing in my life as well to sort of
So what are
as
you
the key to
carrying the
why
weight
this
of?
is coming back.
What are you
Yeah,
carrying the
exactly.
weight
Yeah,
of?
exactly.
That's the thing, isn't it? You know, because
I've got lots I'm juggling at the moment, so
yeah,
yeah, so that was a good reminder to self-care, which is another reason I've got the spa up and running.
yeah, brilliant. Yeah, there's something else that you could do. Are you doing cast oil?
No, but I have got it, so I could do it.
And have you got
Do some
any?
packs.
Yeah, have you got any
Right.
wintergreen? You know the sort of liniment type thing. You could add that to the castor oil, and that'll permeate, because
Right.
castor oil really permeates. So if you've got
Yeah.
anything like that, that would be
I'll
beneficial.
have a look at my essential oils and see what I've got in my essential oils.
Yeah. So even if it's like ginger,
Yeah.
or one of the best
Ginger.
anti-inflammatory essential oils is Everlasting, it's called. And
Okay.
it's the most amazing anti-inflammatory essential oil.
Okay.
Helichrysum's its other name.
I'll have a look.
It's from the daisy
But that's
family.
it for me.
Hey, that's it from you. Well,
That's it for me.
excellent that you've managed to get in the spa every evening. It's perfect, perfectly perfect. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Pam. Keely, you're next to Pam. So how you doing, lovely?
Oh, I'm not too bad, thank you. Couple of celebrations, but I'll go back to last week because I wasn't able to make it last week because I was prepping for my colonoscopy.
Oh yeah.
Last week's celebrations, I finally had somebody outside the household that said to me, "Goodness, you're shrinking. What are you doing?" And it's sort of like, oh my God, I'm sure, you know, and mind my French, I sort of thought, well, for fuck's sake, thank God somebody's finally said something.
Because you are looking a lot slimmer, Keely.
You really
So,
are.
oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
So the other celebration from last week was I started this program at 108 kilos. So I knew I could get into the 90s, got into the 90s. Oh yeah, I know I can get to 92 because I can remember being 92. Got into the 80s. Yeah, this is quite nice. Okay, I remember 82. Okay, maybe I'll get stuck here on 82. But last week I finally got into the 70s. So that was a
Yay!
big celebration.
That really
And
is.
I was hoping to get it this morning, but I'm still 500 grams off, 30 kilos gone. So that's another celebration. But the biggest celebration tonight is my children are still alive, even though it's only the first day of the school holidays, because I can well hear them fighting over the dishes.
Oh,
So yes. So yeah, interesting with the colonoscopy. It was obviously stressful on my body because I put on weight the following morning.
yeah.
You know, you'd think getting everything, and it goes to prove, it honestly goes to prove, like I've been following carnivore since January. Was it January you'd started the
Yeah, I think so.
carnivore
Yeah,
group?
yeah.
So I've been following carnivore since January. And of course, everyone said to me, okay, prep's going to be really bad. And it's sort of like, okay, well, obviously I'm using up all that I'm ingesting and absorbing everything that I need, because prep was a breeze, no issues whatsoever. It was a couple of days later and it's sort of like, oh God, this isn't what I expected after the event. So that was interesting. But yeah.
Did they give you barium? The barium meal? Did they give you that?
No. I had to drink this terrible, horrible stuff that just flushed your system out totally. But obviously, I don't have a lot left in there, so I didn't lose much.
No.
Yeah.
But all is well, as far as you know.
As far as I know,
They would
I
have
think
said.
they're just going to put it down to something like irritable bowel syndrome, but I don't know what could be causing my issues.
We might have to dig a bit deeper with that one, Keely. I think I'm going to
Yeah.
have a conversation about that another time. I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, now that we know that, well, they've sent a couple of biopsies off, but the surgeon said it looked pretty good. So he's hoping, and yeah, so we're going to have to find alternative ways to sort that one out.
yeah, well, that'd be easy.
Any suggestions from anybody how to sort my children out?
How to sort your children out? No, I'm no expert with that one.
You're not allowed to hit
Not allowed
them
to do that anymore, Sarah.
But it worked.
Well, maybe get yourself a stick and go and hit a tree or something. Ask the tree's permission first, though, of course, because otherwise,
Oh, I thought you were aiming at hitting the children then.
No, you're not allowed to, are you? So,
No, not anymore.
get the frustration out. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've had a very, very, very big stressful situation in the home over the last couple of weeks, so it's quite understandable why they're sort of acting out. Yeah.
Okay. We won't go into that. So, congratulations on your results thus far. It's brilliant.
Thank
Yeah. And the great thing is I think your body will be doing the healing work as you're letting go of that weight anyway. So, hopefully the bowel thing
Exactly.
will sort itself out. So that's what often happens, eh? So
It does.
Because your health has improved, hasn't it, quite substantially?
Oh yes, hugely. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
looking
always
good.
yeah, looking good. So it's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, and you're sounding good too, because when you can hear in someone's voice if they're not feeling good, if they're not, and the timbre of your voice has changed completely. So that's a good
Which
sign.
reminds me, I have to do my frequencies.
Yeah. I think I forgot to
No?
I forgot to send some people their frequencies last week. What I did was I put everyone, I just went into autopilot and every time I did someone's, I just put the healing on and then forgot to send it. So if you didn't get one, you still got healing. So, there you go. So, but I will send them tomorrow. So I'm trying to do it on a Tuesday again because I got out of sync. So if you haven't sent them, you can send them. So, okay. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Keely, for sharing. Awesomely awesome. Hilary, would you like to unmute yourself and have a share? Hello, lovely.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can. Well, I can anyway. I'm sure everyone else can. Yeah. How are you doing?
Well, I'm still getting over the shingles.
Right.
So
okay.
that's I've managed to stay reasonably focused given the circumstances and stay focused on my 9-hour eating window.
Right.
So that in itself has been quite an accomplishment. And just keeping up with some the minerals and supplements and things to try and get on top of this condition. So eating wise, I haven't had much of an appetite. Have been doing the bone broth and quite a bit more water. Dropped things like the lemon juice and hot drinks and things because I think it was actually irritating me.
Right.
I did the bone broth
body
glow.
Yeah, cool. That's great stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, so I feel like I haven't really sort of begun yet, to be honest.
That's all good. It's all good. You're doing it in your own good time, because when you're dealing with shingles, that's quite a lot for your body to be dealing with in the first place, really. So are you getting respite? Is the pain going, or is it still hanging around?
Only probably I've had a reasonably good day today. I've been doing quite a lot of sleeping.
Cool.
Headaches are still probably a bit marginal, which I'm not really a headache type person.
Right.
Look, I have asked in the chat about maybe getting some bile salts or whatever bile is, or
Yeah, the digestive enzymes.
yeah, maybe just to help. So I need perhaps you to recommend
Yes.
either a brand or something along those lines, or whether
Yes.
to get them from iHerb or wherever.
There's some you can get from Health Post. I'll just write this down so that I remember to put it in the group, Hilary, because otherwise, if I don't write things down, it sort of goes out of my head. So
Yeah, so no, it was just a case of getting through, because of course I'm a shift worker, so getting through the shifts. I
yeah,
only took one day off. I'd been doing some special training, which I couldn't really forego. So it was just a case of working out, because our working conditions in terms of kitchens and things like that is, and when we get to eat, isn't really that conducive to leading a normal life. So it was just a case of working out how to, and being organised enough to cook my food, my steak and stuff, to be able to take it to work, and then heating it up in a sandwich press with baking paper, not to make it too big a mess and things like that. So it was just the fine tuning, getting some detail going, I guess.
yeah. I think the most important thing is for getting on top of the shingles, and maybe doing as much liquids as you possibly can, and then once you've sort of got the shingles manageable, so that you feel that you're on top of it, then you can do the foods and everything. So I would just try and do your best, and make sure you do the minerals, and make sure you do the magnesium if you can, and then maybe in a week or so you can really get going on it, and you'll feel better then, because it's shingles can hang about for a little bit. And so did I tell you about Andrographis, the herb?
Yes, I went and got some, because that was
good.
when Belinda was down still. So I
Good.
went and got the Andrographis. So I've been on that. I got a bit pilled out, to be honest. So I'm probably just getting back to some sort of a routine in the last day or so. But yeah, I am on the Andrographis, yep.
So is it capsules you've got?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So I would recommend taking 2-3 times a day of that.
Right.
Probably double what they're recommending, but I would recommend doing that.
I tried to get the tincture, but they wouldn't give it to me. So we ended up with that. But yeah.
Okay. Oh well. Just try that and see how you go with that. If you don't get respite in a couple of days, give me a buzz, please, Hilary.
Okay.
Give me a ring, and then there's some other things I can get you to do. So
all right then.
Yeah. All right, lovely. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Sorry, you're going through the shingles there. Sarah, you're next on my screen.
Hello.
Hello, lovely. How you doing?
I'm pretty good, actually.
Very good.
I had a decoding session. Was it last week or the week? Well, I can't remember. It must have been last week. And I just feel like I'm just not as heightened. I'm not as easily triggered about things or worrying about things, and things are just going a bit smoother.
Excellent.
My neck is started and back is starting to get better, but then I went and helped Trev move a pizza oven on the weekend, and that twinged it again. But that's right. I then also did some weed eating, which was a lot of fun, and it all looks much prettier. Some things are also progressing around the home, so it all sort of feels a little bit like some of the internal work I've done is starting to show on the external, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, it does.
And
Yes.
more in the mood space, rather like my weight, because so often I will bounce back up and then release and bounce. I've kind of just been hovering around the same, but it hasn't bothered me. Like I'm just about to fall into the 60s, but even when I was like still 900 grams away from that, it didn't bother me so much. It feels like it's okay.
Just a number.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I feel really good. And I was actually thinking today, I don't think I've felt this good since I was a child.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Like when you just enjoy yourself and you don't feel pain and you don't get stressed about taxes and shit like that, and you just feel good. That's kind of how I feel.
And that's really awesome, because that's sort of living in the moment, isn't it, really?
Yeah, that's sort of how I feel, and I just so yeah, nice. My cats are starting to hang out at home a bit more, so they're starting to tolerate the dog, and that makes me happy. I love
Yeah.
my.
Yeah.
And then another breakthrough was that, and it kind of has a bit of a negative side to it as well, that well, not negative, it's still an enlightenment. My daughter sort of about 3 years ago started to apparently have this thing where she couldn't breathe and got a bubble in her throat, and it never happened at home, so I never saw it. And of course, in the schooling environment, they put it into that anxiety attack box.
Right.
And I was thinking, oh God, and they were all having little anxiety attacks all over the place. So I have to admit, I kind of brushed it off a bit. It was like, I didn't take it as seriously, because it also never happened when she was with me. So then on last week, on Thursday afternoon, I actually saw it, her have one of these can't breathe properly things. And what it is she can't breathe inwards, but it doesn't hurt her lungs, it hurts her throat. And it's like there's an inflammation. And then it happened again the next day, and there was nothing to trigger it. She was trying to decide which sausages she wanted for dinner, because we were having steak. And anyway, Julia put me on to her friend who's a herbal person, and
The lovely Amy.
yeah, the lovely Amy. Like, wow. And it was a phone consult, and my daughter really resisted. And this is where I'm going, negative but positive. It was a breakthrough. I said to her, you just need to trust me that this is okay, because you need to trust your body. And what she can do is have a listen to you and help you, rather than a doctor who will just put you into a box and give you something to suppress the symptoms, which will probably cause other symptoms. And I almost got pissy with her, and I didn't. I just said, look, you just have to just trust. And she went, okay, let's do it. And we had a phone consult with Amy, and she was so spot on about stuff. And Mira's eyes just lit up, and we were cuddled up on the couch. And it's actually been a while since her and I connected like that.
That's so cool.
And it was really cool. And she was so spot on. And today, this gigantic bag of herbs arrived, and some of them don't taste very nice, but she's going to give it a go. But the interesting thing is that I had never pieced it together, the timing of it, but it was all around the time that she was, everyone was getting jabbed, and she was the only one in her class who wasn't, and had to sit by an open window or door, because she was also the only child who was given a mask exemption. And Amy feels that it was shedding from the people who were, popping out in their lunch break and getting the jab, and then sitting with her. And yeah, so I actually can't believe that I didn't ever piece it together. But at least now we kind of know what it is, and we've got we can do something with it.
It's always much easier when it's outside of your family.
Yeah.
Always, because it's always good to have someone else have a chat and get an insight. And then you can go, oh, okay, we can work with that.
Yeah.
because yeah, I mean the shedding is real, and you know, and the side effects are real, and so basically we have to do what we can to protect ourselves and to make sure our health is good,
Mm.
and increasing our circulation.
Yeah.
So, you know, Amy will have done, she's an amazing herbalist. And have you ever met her?
No.
She's like a little fairy. She's just like a little sprite. She really is. She's a dinky little thing.
Yeah.
And oh my God, that the wisdom of that beautiful soul is,
Yeah.
she's amazing. I've met
really
her
is.
a few times, and she's just spot on every time. So
Yeah.
she, you know, she's a real herbalist. Yeah.
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 No,
So
it was actually really amazing. So it'll be good to be able to report back in a few weeks or what the results are.
be great to hear.
But
Really,
yeah, I kind of felt like I had a parent failure moment, but at the same time a breakthrough moment, and there's a connection between Mira and I that hasn't been there for a while now. So
that's brilliant. That's a win-win. That's a brilliant
that's a
win.
really big win. So,
Congratulations, Sarah.
thank you.
Awesomely awesome. Jackie, you're next on my screen. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hmm.
Wow.
How you doing? So, for those of you who don't know, Jackie was on my program a year ago. Was it a year ago or 2 years ago?
Yeah. 1st of July, so 1 year.
Wow.
Yeah.
And been off the program for a little bit and decided to join us again, which is great. So,
Yeah.
when did you start, or have you not started yet?
Oh, no. Well, I do it, but I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and then I have what I want on the weekend, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Tuesday, I come back down. So I need to come back and get myself back on track, because I know this works.
Yeah.
I know my body loves carnivore. So
yeah. So that's the thing, isn't it, really? Sometimes you need to go away, do some other things. And the thing is that you know you can always come back to it. And so that's the beauty of it, really. So, you know, take down any inflammation you might have put on, and then you can do your thing, you know. And so that's great. So nice to see you back, Jackie.
But interesting when you were talking to Pam, the big toe, my big toe's been sore for quite a while.
Has it?
Yeah, in that joint area there and up in that area. My big toe on my right foot.
Yeah. On your right foot. Okay. Does it get swollen and red, or does it just hurt? Just hurt.
And the top of my foot really sore. Like if I put my fingers along that crease, whoa, I'm just about jumping to the ceiling.
So have you had that for a while, or
Yeah.
how long?
Well before I started.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, I would
notice?
recommend doing the castor oil on there. Magnesium first, then castor oil.
I haven't been putting the castor oil on that.
Yeah. So try it.
Mm.
And the magnesium first, though.
Magnesium first. And I haven't been doing any Epsom salt baths either, so I must get back onto those.
Yeah. Epsom salt foot baths would be great. So if you do Epsom salt foot bath as a regular thing for 10 minutes, and then put the magnesium on, and then put the castor oil on. So it basically drink it in, you know. So that will help, I think. So it sounds like a touch of arthritic sort of joint type thing.
Yeah.
And so we know that you can heal it. So we just need to put a focus on there. Awesome. Jackie. Okay. Lovely Belinda is next on my screen. Hello, lovely. I didn't expect to see you tonight.
No. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
yes.
good. Yeah, no, I didn't expect me to be on here as well, but I've got my husband putting the number 2 child to bed tonight, so that's all good. Yeah.
That's cool. So how are you doing?
Yeah, no, I'm overall good. I'm staying weight-wise, I'm staying within sort of 500 grams basically. which is good. So it's like quite stable. So
Yeah.
between 5.3 and 5.8, I think, is what I've been doing. So yeah, so that's all been good. Yeah, so the things I'm working on are the sleep and bowels, and yeah, I tend to get a bit stuck, and especially when I'm away. So I'm really trying to up my salt to try and get more moisture, or like absorb more of the water that I'm drinking, yeah, so that it moistens the intestines. I think the salt will draw that in there,
Yeah.
rather than just having it all go through and not. Yeah, so I think that could be a bit of a reason why I'm a bit constipated. But also I've been watching Dr. Elizabeth oh gosh, Bright, that's right, and she was talking with Anthony Chafee. So she's big on the thyroid stuff. So also constipation is a sign of low thyroid as well. So
Yeah.
yes, there's quite. I mean, I got to work on things on quite a few different fronts. On the getting the extra salt, getting the iodine and the selenium to help with the thyroid.
They're important components. That
Yeah.
there is homeopathic remedies for the thyroid in both the fast track and the ultimate detox. So there is stuff in there to help
Oh,
support your
okay.
thyroid
Oh,
and
good.
adrenals.
Oh,
So
good.
because all of us have imbalances in one or both of those. So
Yes.
it's part and parcel of the whole thing. And so one thing I would suggest is make sure that you you do the detox for a little bit before adding in the iodine, because the
Okay.
fluoride is so similar to iodine that it'll be in your in the receptors in the thyroid for the iodine. So if you detox the fluoride, unfortunately all of us have got fluoride in us. So
Even though we've got a really good fluoride
yeah,
filter.
yeah, because you probably will have absorbed fluoride throughout your childhood, or
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah. So
Yes.
the fluoride detox is the ultimate detox, so which you've got. So
Right. Oh, okay.
yeah, so you can definitely just whack that, and that will really help. So I would suggest doing that for a couple of weeks and then add in your iodine, and then a week later or so add in the selenium.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, well, that's good to know. Thank you. Yeah. I'd also been, like playing with the idea of going back on bioidentical progesterone, because in the past that had helped me with my sleep. But yeah, after listening to Elizabeth Bright about bioidentical hormones and hormone replacement and stuff, yeah, just thinking, just stick to the program, what I'm doing, and
You're putting off the inevitable otherwise.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. And yeah, some of those things aren't that good for you. The plant-based stuff, hormones aren't that good for you. No.
I mean, big learnings, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But it's really quite interesting, really, when we look at certain herbs. So, for example, when early days I thought my thyroid was out of kilter. I mean, it was slightly. I took Bladderwrack, and so Bladderwrack is a traditional thyroid herb, and basically I threw my thyroid into hyperthyroid. So basically I would now always recommend adaptogenic herbs for hormonal balance.
Right.
So they and so certain ones for thyroid and adrenals, and so like the withanias, like ashwagandha, and actually bacoba is a really good one because it helps with the brain shift, and so I found it really effective with anyone who is overthinking.
I've always found ashwagandha very helpful. Yeah.
I always call ashwagandha withania because that's the way I was taught, but it's the same. So
Yeah. Also interesting, because my husband's a type 1 diabetic, and he gets every 6 months gets his bloods done and whatever.
Yeah.
And this time, because he's been eating more meat and eating more fat, his cholesterol, total cholesterol's gone up a lot, and his LDL has gone up quite a bit. But I think that sort of can happen, can't it?
absolutely. Well, we need LDLs for brain function.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's
And
just,
yes, it does happen, especially initially.
mm,
And then everything, and of course in this country, and most countries, I think there's only a couple of different labs that do the two different LDLs
right.
tests.
Yeah.
And it's because we have the light and fluffy LDLs, which is our messenger system, and then we have the bullet ones, which is the ones that can congest the arteries and everything. And so consequently, I would say, and they're from polyunsaturated fat, so he won't be having that. So I
No.
would just recommend him to keep on going.
Yeah.
And you've probably seen some of the videos and things of where people have cured themselves of type 1 diabetes with the carnivore diet.
Yes, I have seen some of them. So yeah. But
So,
again, it's also the programming that we've had that that cholesterol's bad, and
yeah.
and high LDLs is really bad. But in fact, it actually helps with longevity apparently.
Absolutely does.
Yeah,
And people with high LDLs will not have dementia and Alzheimer's.
Yeah, so I think we should just not worry about it too much.
Yeah, so I mean the thing is dementia is now known as type 3 diabetes. So it's like because it's sugar. So if you're on the carnivore, you're not getting that, are you?
No, not at all.
Yeah, so it's a good thing. And I think just that. So awesome, Belinda. Thank you for sharing.
So yeah, and thank you for your bits on that.
Yeah, so wonderful to see you actually able to join us, which is cool.
Good.
Now,
yeah.
Mary, I don't know if you can talk because you're not on your video, and also there's Gillian as well, and I know Gillian's probably working, and might not be able to chat. But if you are, Mary, you've unmuted yourself. Hello, lovely.
Hello. Yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened to the video.
That's all right. It
Yeah.
would be lovely to see your face, but it's good to hear your voice.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how these Zooms work, so I'm not very technologically able. So
Well, if you go, where you unmuted yourself, there should be
Yeah.
a video, a sort of like a video,
Oopsie.
just next to it where you can click on it and you can show your lovely face.
My phone is saying unable to access camera.
Okay, all right then. So let's not access camera and just you can share how you're doing. So you haven't really got started yet, have you, Mary?
No,
have
no,
you?
I'm a newbie. I'm a
Yeah.
newbie around here, and
Well,
I felt a
welcome.
bit like a stalker, listening to all your lovely stories, and I'm, down there in the dark. So,
Oh no, it's all
but,
wonderful. Everyone started off like yourself, Mary. So you're not stalking. It's always good to have, listening and if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to ask. So have you got anything that you're not sure of?
No, I think I've downloaded the booklets that were on your website, and I've got my pack of things that came today in the by courier. And so I just need to dive in, I guess. So I mean, I have been doing more or less carnivore for a couple of weeks now, and so hopefully this will just give me a bit of a boost and move on forward. Because I felt that even though I feel like my clothes have got a lot looser on me, and I was really annoyed the other day because I'd bought this lovely top from Farmers, and I thought, right, I'm going to try it on. And it's absolutely swamping me. So I was like, oh no. So
you're just going to have to take it back and get a smaller one.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's been a while since I bought it, but
Okay.
there was a little bit tight when I did buy it, and now it just looks like
Have you got anyone that does alterations near you?
Yeah, there's a few people around,
Yeah.
So anyway, but so I feel like I'm, losing, but the scales don't tell me anything different. So that's why I've joined up with your program to see if the scales will start shifting with you.
Well, they will. They absolutely will. The thing is
Good.
that as long as you're losing the inches, that's the main thing, really.
Yep.
So with the carnivore, before you start taking the products, it can be a redistribution of muscle mass. So it could be that. So it'll be interesting to hear, Mary, how you're getting on. So
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen the video I made of the packages of the package
Yeah,
and what's in it.
I just discovered that today,
Oh, good.
and because I was called up for jury service, so I've been a little bit out of the loop, and
Oh, okay.
I've been around with that. And anyway, yeah, I did see your video, and because I was bombarding you with emails all the time, so
It's all good. It's all
and
good.
that was really helpful. So now I know exactly what things are to be taken when. So
Excellent.
thank you for that.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So it's good to, I mean, don't hesitate to message me. Most people will message me on Messenger because that's where I respond the quickest. So
Right.
if you need anything answered quickly, I tend to be on there. Like things are pinging up for me now with questions. So please don't hesitate to ask because I'll reply quite quickly on there.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Awesomely awesome. Welcome, Mary. Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay. Gillian, you've got questions. So would you like to unmute yourself when you can? And it would be great to see your lovely face, upside down though you may be. Awesome. Hello.
I tell you what, if I turn the camera around, can you hear me now?
Yep, can hear you and see you. Awesome.
Yeah. Hey, it's good to be on tonight, and congratulations to the ladies earlier that have had some awesome results, and that's really good to hear. So I've had a couple of big things happen in the last few weeks. I hadn't been losing weight since Christmas time. I had last year, and I sort of realized about King's birthday weekend that even though I was getting a lot of sleep, I was still waking up tired, like just really, really tired and exhausted. And I know I have been working long hours, but I thought, if I'd slept, 8 hours sleep, I should have been, feeling okay. But anyway, I went and did a sleep apnea test, and I've tested that I've got sleep apnea. And I was having like 25 non-sleeping episodes an hour,
Wow.
which is moderate. Yeah. Sort of, I think if you get to 30, you're on severe. And so the longest I'd stopped breathing was like 101 seconds, and my oxygen had dropped down to 70%. So yeah. So that
No
was
wonder you were tired.
Yeah. So anyway, I've been on a sleep apnea machine, so I've had that for about 10 days or something. So
Okay.
I've noticed a little bit of improvement on that, but I'm still just sort of getting used to the machine, at night and that.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that that's going to have good results with being less tired, and I'm thinking that that would have been a stress on my system that I wasn't aware of if I wasn't getting the proper sleep.
Yeah, that and your workload together is quite major, because you were working weeks and weeks straight, hey, and the body cannot cope with that.
Brief comment, Gillian, I've been on a CPAP machine for around 10 years, and I must say it totally revolutionized my life. I mean, you're right, it's an adjustment to having something around your face, and it's kind of white noise sound near you. But honestly, within a month, within 6 weeks, certainly, it was the new normal. And instead of being exhausted all the time, instead of wanting to sleep half the weekend, and my blood pressure came down and all sorts of things. So yeah. And you never know, eventually the weight loss will happen, and neither of us will need it,
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear, because I to sort of have that sort of a month or 6 weeks or something time framed, because I was sort of thinking, I might notice it straight away, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
looking forward to good things. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other big thing that's happened was I carry a lot of weight around my my legs and that. And so I went to a lady who does a lymphatic massage
Ooh.
lady, and she's diagnosed that I have got lymphedema, quite bad in one leg, a little bit in the other, but on the other leg I've got lipodema. So one's a condition of the lymphatic system, and that's the leg that I had an injury quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
And the other one is the lipodema, is a disease of the fat nodules and that. So she's been doing lymphatic drainage, and she's going to get me some compression garments. So she said, like, I've got in each leg, I've got 18 kilos of fluid in each leg. And that. So she couldn't tell me how much fluid I should have, and like what a normal person would have, but and it's obviously a lot of weight.
Yeah, that is. So did you notice after having the lymph drainage any difference in your weight the next day?
It was hard to tell because I had my mum's 88th birthday and I'd gone out for tea, but I think I probably did. I think I did lose fluid, and that. So each week she's taped me up with a bandage at the moment, so it goes from my ankle up to above my knee, and then next week she should have some compression garments and that to wear. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a couple of things that we can do, that you can do actually, is when you're sitting at your desk, I think I might have talked to you about this before, but basically get your feet, and so knock the heels down. So tap your heels.
Oh yeah.
Because your heels are your lymphatic pump.
Oh
and
yeah.
So just sit and do that as often as you possibly can, because that's going to help move the lymphatic fluid up. And so basically when you have lymphedema or the other one, basically what it is it's the lymph is unable to, it's pooling, so it's unable to move, and it might be a bit thick and gunky. So basically, doing the water that you've been doing over the last few months is basically going to be helping, but it's not necessarily going to be getting everything moving. So there's one thing you could get yourself, and that is Cleaver's tea. Cleavers, Cleaver's. And Cleaver's is one of the best lymphatic cleansers herbally that you can do. And Cleaver's, you've probably got loads in your garden. Most people have. It's a climbing weed, and basically it's got those little sticky baubles that stick to your clothes. Do you know the one?
Is it called Sticky Willy?
Oh, I don't know. There's so many different names to it. Hang on, I'll see if I can find a picture, and then I can show you. Because Cleaver's is you can get Cleaver's teas, but it's probably easier to just find it in your garden, because even this time of year, it's relatively easy to get hold of. Let's have a look. Okay.
And so part of the first day that I was at her there, she did a scan, and it was a pedient scan, and so she was saying there that it said how much fluid I had in my body, but she also said that I was low on protein and minerals, and that, which I thought was a bit odd, considering that I'm mainly eating carnivore. That I thought my protein would have been pretty good.
So are you eating the 2 meals a day?
Yes, yeah. So it's one meal's eggs, and the other meal's mostly lamb, but sometimes beef or
and
fish.
a good portion, Gillian?
Well, if I'm doing eggs, I've increased my size to 4 eggs.
Right.
And I'd probably have meat, maybe 150 grams cooked.
Okay, so increase that. I would increase that to at least 200, 250 grams of protein.
Yeah.
because it could be that you there's two things. It could be you're not absorbing it properly, or it could be you're just not eating enough, and that actually can prohibit you from letting go of weight too. So
Yeah.
if you're not
yeah.
eating, and I would highly recommend, you know, not having eggs every day maybe, but having another meat of some sort. So whether it's
Okay.
duck or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, the high fat ones, and make sure you're doing your boost drops.
Yeah, I've been pretty good on that. Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah.
10 drops 3 times a day for the next few weeks to really top yourself up and make sure you're doing enough salt.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm doing the salt soul in the morning, and
Good.
then
Also,
still having.
so I don't know how you can be low in minerals, to be honest, but there you go.
Yeah.
Right. Now, here is cleavers. I will show thee. Can you see that? So that's cleavers. That's one. And then they have it has tiny little flowers in springtime. But basically
Yeah.
it's sort of like really climbs, and you'll see, and it goes everywhere.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've got that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we call sticky willy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's it's known as goose grass. It's known as all sorts of things, you know.
Yeah.
It has those lovely, how you can tell it's got those lovely little sticky baubles.
So, like, sort of put a handful in a pot and boil it up for 10 minutes. Would that
if
do it, or?
you have quite a bit in your garden, then I would recommend getting loads of it and dry it. You know,
Okay. Yeah.
just hang it and have it in the kitchen or wherever, and dry it, and then you can just bung a handful in a pot. You can always add I mean, it doesn't taste of hardly anything, to be honest. So you can always add another tea to it, and you're going to get the benefits of that. So
Yeah. Yeah. I know that's good. Thanks so much for that, Karen.
that's a pleasure. I love to do. It's great. I'm just really blessed to be able to help people. Right. Okay, I've got a couple of questions that people have asked me. One was, what is a steak day? So, steak day, and why do we do it? So when I first created Fast Track, the steak day came about. I can't even remember how it came about, but basically what a steak day is if you're not on carnivore, you have a couple or 3 apples through the day. If you're on carnivore, then you do a broth, and you can have as many broths as you like. And then for dinner, you have the biggest steak you can get your hands on with lots of butter. And what this does is it literally, if you've put on, if you've been off-piste, say, you've been off the wagon, or you've been to a party the day before. And I actually, once I discovered this, I recommended that everyone plan to do a steak day on Boxing Day, because everyone will overeat Christmas. Everyone, you know. Well, you're less likely to on carnivore, to be honest, but you are, you will. But so if you plan for a steak day, so I used to say, if you go up a kilo overnight, or 600 grams a kilo overnight, then do a steak day, because that will bring down the inflammation like that. So basically, the rationale is you're basically kickstarting your metabolic pathways. You're removing the inflammatory processes with steak and butter, because let's face it, they're the least inflammatory foods, and you're giving your body really quite a nice rest having the fast. So, and in my early days, before I'd even thought about working in health, this was when I was in running wine bars and pubs and things. I used to put myself on a mono fast. So my first mono fast was carrots. The only benefit I had for that was yellow palms, the orangey palms from eating carrots. The next one I put myself on was apples days, and I felt really good on apples, but that was when I was younger. So basically I don't know, as I said, I don't really know how I discovered it. It just came about. It's been so many years now that I can't remember. So it's 14 odd years ago. I don't remember how they came about. Anyway, so that's the answer to what is a steak day and why does it work. And when you use it is you can use it if you want to kickstart your weight. If you've gone into the doldrums with your weight, you can do a steak day to see if that will kick it back in. So that's a good one to have a look at. And so basically that's the reason when you use a steak day and sometimes you might just feel really full from the day before and you just say, I'll do a steak day today. It's a nice easy way of eating and it nearly always will end up with results. Now the other bit I'm going to go over is I was reading Sarah's comment about her hair falling. And I just wanted to reassure her because basically it is really common for people to notice changes in your hair when you're undergo significant dietary shifts. And so there is logical reasons as to why. And so basically, if we look at what we've been doing over the last 8 months, Sarah, is we've been actually doing some deep healing work. So when the body undergoes a significant change, especially a dietary one, it often prioritizes essential healing processes. Initially, energy and nutrients are directed towards the vital functions and healing processes. So that can really impact the way it prioritizes things like hair, nails, and skin. And so when you sort of transition into a diet, the body's really adjusting. And so the adjustment period can be anything from 6 months to a year. And also it can be hormonal changes that can be affecting. So for example, like Belinda was talking about thyroid things coming into balance. So basically as the body is readjusting everything, then sometimes your hair seems to fall out. And I can honestly say, after being on the carnivore for 2 years, I noticed my hair was falling out, not in huge clumps, but it was falling out a bit more than normal. And I noticed, so that was 2 years ago, but I noticed after a year, it really stopped coming out in any more than it was on average. And so basically everything will level out and then your hair will grow back normally. So also when you think about the detoxification and also when we're under stress. So when we're under stress, very often all the energy is going into coping mechanisms. And so consequently, there's not a lot of energy left over to grow this stuff. So consequently, and let's face it, not only have you gone through a complete body transformation, you've gone through a life transformation where things have really been out of kilter and then they're coming into place. And what will happen, I think, with you is you will find that certain things now your hair will start falling into place too. Might take a few more months, but it will come back. So do not worry about it. Does that make sense, Sarah?
Yes, it does. My energy is needed elsewhere. Yeah. Just like when your body gives you a fever when it wants to heal instead of putting energy into eating.
Absolutely. Yeah. So exactly the same. So, and there's of course certain foods that will give you more nutrients that will help you make more hair, like vitamin E, vitamin D, vitamin A, K2, and those, and also things like zinc and selenium and iron. We've talked about all these before. And so what I'll do is I'll just put a sheet up in our group so that you can see what foods maybe to prioritize. And so things like cod liver oil are really useful. And I found this tin of cod liver, and it sounds pretty awful, but it's smoked cod liver, and we can get it from Our New World, and it is absolutely delicious. Really nice in eggs. And it smells quite pungent when you cook it, but when you eat it, it doesn't taste pungent at all. It doesn't taste like cod liver oil at all. So I would highly recommend that. I will take a photo of it.
Okay, please. Yeah.
And so that's something to add in, you know, but you're doing the red meat and all those
Yeah.
sorts of things. And so, you know,
I'm
basically,
actually, as of the weekend, we decided we're going to give pork a bit of a miss for a while.
okay.
Just
Reason?
just I don't know. I don't eat it as much anyway as the others, but I because I don't do lamb. I just cannot do lamb.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
So having sort of just steak and chicken gets a bit boring.
Yeah.
But I think I'm actually enjoying my steak so much that I've decided, okay, I'm going to see what it's like without bacon at all, rather than just nitrate-free bacon and no pork, and just do. And today I had steak for lunch and dinner. It was great.
Nice.
It's
a hard life, isn't it, Sarah, really? You know.
I changed it up. You know, I'm going to have to put this on the notes, on the group, but I have to say, we had tomahawks last week, and this is a special treat. We can't have it often, but tomahawk steaks, so they have really big bones. They're still like marrows coming out, you know. So when we finished them, I threw them in the crock pot.
Yeah, nice.
Just added salt, peppercorns, apple cider vinegar, and water.
Yeah.
And basically let that brew for a day and a night. And so I had that today. I just made the perfect amount of broth for a big bowl of soup. And then I did some egg noodles and a steak, and I chopped the steak up, and it was my pho. And you know what? I've actually stopped craving the rice noodles.
Excellent.
It was one of my biggest things.
Yeah.
So that's what we had for lunch. Well, I had for lunch, and then dinner was steak and butter with a bit of cream and mustard thrown through the pan afterwards. So I'm not as bored with just meat anymore. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, as you know, my favourite's brisket. I can eat brisket all every day, every minute.
I'm a bit wishy. It's a little bit like lamb. It has a little bit of a lamby taste to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, everyone's different, eh? Yeah. We all have our favourites. Thank goodness we're all different, eh?
Yeah. But
It'd
yeah,
be boring if we were all the same.
I know.
Yeah.
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 So that's cool. Pretty
So
good.
hopefully that's put your mind at rest, because
That's good. Yeah, because I was just thinking I'm having more minerals and things than ever, and all these things that are meant to be good for your hair, skin, and nails. I mean, yeah, my skin's feeling pretty good.
yeah.
Mind
Mind you, you've still got loads of hair, haven't you?
yeah, just like about half of what I used to have. So, yeah.
Oh well. Maybe again, cod liver oil. Have you tried that in your hair? Massaging a little bit in your hair?
Just doesn't work with my hair, because as soon as I move, my hair comes with me. I can't get in there. I'll try it again.
Yeah, you just need a little bit on your fingers. You don't need loads and loads. Just massage it into the scalp, you
I
know.
will give it another go. Yeah.
Give it a go, because it's definitely worth it. Because I mean, I've seen lots of people posting about how it's made their eyelashes grow longer and all that sort of stuff. So it must help with the hair. But I mean, as you know, everyone's calling it a miracle thing. I'm just not sure whether it's that much of a miracle, but hey, it's worth the try, isn't it?
Yep, I'll give it a go. I've got a bottle, so I'll give
Yeah,
it a
it's definitely worth sort of for any joint pain or anything like that. Really good.
Can you put it on open wounds?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I mean, if you have an open wound, I would highly recommend putting cayenne pepper on it.
Wow. Okay. Now, I've just one of my cranio clients. She had to have something removed from the sole of her foot that they thought was melanoma, but it was a verruca in the end. But she just can't walk. She's in so much pain.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not good. It's really
Ooh.
nice. I
So,
started thinking,
right, with something like that, it sounds like she's got a bit of poison in there, huh?
possibly. So
Yeah.
it doesn't feel right. I haven't actually seen it myself, but I'm seeing her again tomorrow morning, so I might have a look at it. But I just wondered if it was safe to put.
Yeah, it is. But I would also recommend using this herb. I'm just going to share the screen. You will have it in the herb. plantain. Because it's the most amazing blood purifier and drawer of toxicity. And you will definitely have some either in your garden or in your street. So just bear with me and I will share the screen. And what you do is it's plantain.
Plantain.
And it can be any of the plantains. So if you look at this, you'll have it in your garden, probably in your grass. And sometimes it grows flat and sometimes it grows up. And so it goes, it's either round like this one, or it's long and flat like that. How you can tell what it is when you pull the stalk, it's like guitar strings.
Okay.
And it's also called ribwort, but it's plantain, Plantago lanceolata or Plantago major or whatever, is all of the plantains do exactly the same. They draw toxins out. And so what I've done, so I got stung by a jellyfish, and basically, luckily enough, by the seashore there was some plantain, so I just grabbed some, chewed it so that you macerate it and then apply it and put or just hold it. But you can with your client you can put a plaster over it. And I mean, obviously you don't have to chew it. You know, you can put it in a mortise and pestle, or you could just chop it up roughly, and then apply it. It really is one of the most amazing herbs, and it's everywhere.
Okay, I'll see if I can find some tomorrow.
Yeah. If you're not sure, just take a photo. Now, the little seed pods, you'll know those. They're called psyllium husks. That's where they get psyllium husks from.
Right.
So,
There you go. You learn something new every day.
yeah, it's a herbal lesson today. I think it's the first time I've done herbal lessons.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okie dokie. Right. Any more questions before we toddle off?
Thank you for that, by the way.
That's my pleasure. Gosh, it's 8:14 already. Time flies. Okay. No questions? Okie dokie. Before we go, next week, I'm changing things up next week. So I'm going to amalgamate the Ultimate Detox and what will be Food and Frequencies. But what we're going to do is we're going to have half an hour, which will be for you ladies only. And then the rest of the time, which will probably be for another hour, so it'll probably be an hour and a half. We're going to have the carnivore group, which is going to be Food and Frequencies joining us.
So let's start at 7.
Yeah. So you guys, I'm actually thinking maybe we'll do 45 minutes and then we'll do 45 minutes with the Food and Frequencies, so that everyone gets a chance to share what they're doing and how they're doing, and any questions you want to do just in this group, and then we'll open it up. So okay,
Lovely.
better share that with you. Quite important. Awesome. Lovely, ladies. I will see you next week if I don't see you before. And if you have any questions, you know where I am. Okay.
Good night.
Thank you.
Have a magical week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Karen.
Night.
Bye, everybody.